Beste, I'm delighted to be here with you in beautiful Cannes. We're here overlooking the harbour, and great to catch up, of course, with you and talk PMI Global Travel Retail. Obviously, a big focus for you in the 18 months or so that you've been in the role has been around moving and accelerating the whole global transformation of the company, especially around the travel retail side. Maybe you can just update us on that progress towards a smoke-free future.
Sure, with pleasure. First of all, thank you so much and welcome to this beautiful weather, as you said, and beautiful occasion. Thanks for this opportunity. Indeed, it's been 18 months of amazing journey for me, if I may say. So I took over the role 18 months ago, and it's really a totally different world. Global travel retail plays a very critical role in terms of especially Philip Morris International smoke-free transformations. Because as we always call ourselves, we're like the window to the whole world. We have genuinely global footprint. Global travel retail is spread across 166 markets. And in those 166 markets, we have 7 different trade channels. Because when you say global travel retail, what comes to mind of people is usually airports, right?
Yeah.
However, it's not only about airports. We have 6 other channels which are very critical for our business: borders, ship handling, ferries and cruises, airlines, diplomatic, military. So that's why it's an extremely complex business, if I may say. Very challenging. However, this multifaceted business offers humongous opportunities at the same time. And one of the key opportunities that it offers is to play a key enabler role in PMI smoke-free transformation. Why I say that? Because our platform, the Global Travel Retail platform, captures the consumers in those moments where they are much more open to explore new products, where they're much more receptive to innovation and new offers, because they have more time compared to the time they have in a regular point of sales, right? So that's why what is critical for us in global travel retail is to really put our multi-category portfolio in the center. And what I mean by our multi-category portfolio is IQOS, the global #1 heat-not-burn product, ZYN, the global #1 nicotine pouches product, and VEEV, which is our premium vaping proposition. So it's a great opportunity to expose our full portfolio of multi-category offers within relatively more time or duration that they have. Generate awareness, generate trial, and also, what is more important, is to deliver experience to the consumer.
Yes, well, experience is very important, and we'll talk consumer. Just to maybe dig a little bit deeper, I guess maybe just to talk about some of the levers that you're using to engage with the consumer and to introduce experiences to them.
Experience is a very critical component because surprisingly, or maybe not surprisingly, what we have been seeing since the pandemic, a really rapid growth of experience being ranked as the #1 driver for the travelers to visit a duty-free shopping area and to purchase any goods at the duty-free shopping area. In the past, it was much more deal focused, so price advantage mattered the most. However, in time, and especially after pandemic, we see drastic change in terms of the trends and experience becoming the #1 critical enabler. That's why, of course, in our success recipe, what is important is to put the consumer in the center, listen to the consumer. So that's why more and more in PMI GTR, we are really elevating the experience component of our initiatives. Experience is not only about the portfolio. It also covers like limited editions, travel exclusive offers, because we know consumers look for them, right? When they are traveling for gifting purposes, for personal usage. But it goes much beyond the portfolio. It's about the look and feel of our brand spaces. It's about the executional excellence. Our principle is always to position ourselves as the look of the leader, because we're leader in the smoke-free category. And it's also about the engagement initiatives, how we interact with the consumer, how we approach the consumer, and how we actually offer the consumer what they expect from us.
You mentioned consumer centricity, Beste, and of course, that also demands close partnership with the industry. Maybe just tell us how you're looking to deepen those partnerships with the retail community in particular.
Very good point. This is a key, again, enabler in our success, our partnerships. And I mean it when I say it because I have seen the other side of PMI, which is the domestic business. But since I took over the global travel retail business, I have personally experienced how critical a role the partnerships play in this business.
Yeah.
When I say partnerships, it's the operators that we work with, it's our distributors. I'm talking about actually the whole value chain. And why it's even more critical for GTR, because it's a global and a very complex business. So without these key partnerships, to be honest, our job would be very, very difficult. Having said that, in terms of what we can do better working together with the airport, the operators at the airport especially, I think it's all about generating traffic. And I think it also goes a bit beyond the restricting, limiting ourselves into that shopping area, meaning the shopping moment.
Yes.
Why I'm saying that? Because actually the consumer's journey does not start at the airport. So we need to look at the full journey of the consumer, pre-travel, during travel, and post-travel, and to be able to really address their needs throughout their whole journey. And this can be really possible if we can strongly collaborate with our operators through more digital initiatives and even using AI, which is, as you know, it's a very, very popular topic and
Yes.
a very important topic, actually.
Yes.
So I think this is the one single area that we really need to work hand in hand with our operators.
Okay. And you mentioned that collaboration. It's interesting. We talk a lot about in our Trinity conversations around how the industry is communicating to the wider world about who we are, what we stand for, and our values. Do you think we can do a better job as an industry in communicating about the category that you work in as well, and maybe overcoming some of the misconceptions and misunderstandings about the business?
Very good point. Thank you for asking this. Well, definitely. First of all, PMI is going through a massive transformation. We have a very bold ambition and it's becoming real. It's not an illusion. Our ambition as PMI is to become primarily smoke-free in the coming future.
Yeah.
So that if I reflected to the numbers a little bit, more than 2/3 of our net revenues to come from smoke-free products until or by 2030. So this is our very bold ambition.
Yep.
And we're progressing extremely successfully towards this ambition. Today, 41% of our net revenues globally are coming from smoke-free products. This is a massive achievement.
Yeah.
It's a huge success. And in general, globally, there are 41 million legal age nicotine users who are using smoke-free products. This is also a massive success. When we look at IQOS, which is the #1 heated tobacco product globally, there are approximately 32 million consumers, out of which 72% of them completely stopped smoking and switched to IQOS. So looking at all these numbers, we definitely have a very, very bold ambition, and we are progressing very successfully towards this ambition. And I think we need to be much more vocal about that.
Yeah.
This is the #1 area where we can get better. What is also important is to create awareness about the harm reduction narrative. And what I mean by that, what is harmful in smoking is actually the combustion, burning of the tobacco, which reveals thousands of chemicals, out of which hundreds of them are actually harmful. However, there is a misperception about nicotine being the main cause of smoking-related diseases, which is not right.
And speaking of consumer connection and communication, a few months ago, PMI Global Travel Retail launched a smoke-free travel website
yes.
portal, and clearly that's something that's driven by your insights into the consumers and how they research purchases in advance of travel. Just maybe tell us briefly about your ambitions for that website and how you're going to communicate further with consumers via that.
Absolutely. That's a project which is very close to my heart because, again, it's all about putting the consumer in the center and listening to what the consumer is asking for.
Yes.
And delivering them what they need, basically. When the consumers arrive at the airport, let's say, 50% of them already know they want to buy. So it's very critical for that 50% to make them aware where they can find which product. Especially this is becoming more important when we have now a multi-category, a rich portfolio of options. So this very easy website, very user-friendly, allows the consumers to be informed where they can find which of the multi-category products among IQOS, among VIV, and among ZYN, in which airport. And not only in which airports, also in the domestic markets as well. Because as I told you, I think we really need to look at the journey of the consumer as the full journey, pre, during, and post-travel. That's why we didn't only limit the website's information to the airport's sales, but we are also providing them information about their destination markets and even the markets where they travel from.
Right, okay. Now, one thing I just want to come back to, you mentioned AI and the future. Maybe just let's look a little bit at the future as well and how you see, you mentioned digital tools, obviously AI becoming a far more important tool in the world of retail generally, and of course travel retail no different, and it's a big topic in our sector as you know today. How do you see that playing into what you do and how you engage both with consumers and your partnerships?
Yeah. Well, digital transformation is also very critical. It's something that we put as a clear focus in global travel retail. And AI is definitely a part of it. What I can say, I think what we're trying to do different is that we don't want to use AI as just a trendy word which stays in our presentations and we just declare that, yes, we're going to use AI. We really want to walk the talk. And what I mean by walk the talk is we really would like to first look at the pain points throughout the whole journey of the consumer and how we can address those pain points by using AI. It's not using AI for the sake of AI. So that's why we had actually a very immersive look into our full value chain. We identified all the pain points on the consumer side in order to further enhance the experience of the consumer. So that's where we want to focus AI, number one. But also, number two, as we all know, AI provides a lot of efficiencies and productivity as well. So that goes to the upper funnel of our value chain. So we split our initiatives into two, giving a bit of more importance to the elevating consumer experience side of it. And why it plays a critical role also, because travel moment is a bit of a cumbersome moment, right? So people would like to immediately get on the plane and arrive at their destination points. So operator side also, I think there is a lot to be done on the leveraging AI in terms of easing the journey of the consumer during the travel moment. And as a result, providing more time for the consumer to go around, to experience, and to get into the brand worlds of not only our company, but all the categories that are trying to offer this experience to the consumers.
Now, you mentioned investment, and investment both digitally and in the hardware side of the business as well. I know Europe travel retail has been a key focus for you over the last year or so. Maybe just tell us about some of the investments and initiatives that are leading that for you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Europe is in our focus because Europe plays a key role in terms of being major hubs for traveling legal age nicotine users. What we have done so far is, again, in line with our strategic priorities, to focus on executional excellence, to really uplift the look and feel of our presence in major airports, especially major hubs, but also at the same time to elevate the experiential aspect of our consumer interactions and consumer engagements. There are, I think, good examples already that you can see when you're traveling. Geneva, at the airports in Germany, then in Spain, in Portugal, in Italy.
Beste, we've covered a lot of ground. I suppose in closing, any final message for your business partners in particular? We're at the Cannes show and it's a show all about talking about the future of partnership. Any final message for the sector about PMI Global Travel Retail's direction and future thoughts on where the industry is also going?
Yeah, thank you, thank you. Thank you once again. It's a great opportunity. Well, what I can say is putting the consumer in the center is critical. And that's how we can really become or continue to be a key enabler for Philip Morris International global bold ambition of becoming a smoke-free company. And global travel retail plays a very critical role in this. So we need to continue partnering with our key stakeholders across the whole value chain to be able to achieve this bold ambition.
Well, look, it's been a pleasure to discuss that with you, and we wish you very well on the journey ahead. Beste, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much. Thank you a lot.